I like it.
So it's pumpkin season, and if you were like me, when it starts getting cold and cozy, you want to cuddle up with something warm and delicious and kind of like a hug. Well, even though food is not an emotion, sometimes it does bring you a lot of joy to eat it. And if you're also anything like me, you might have recently learned that you also have a sensitivity to gluten. So a lot of those desserts use white flour, all-purpose flour, and that's the thing that can be a little tricky in the digestive system. So I'm trying out a new flour today. It's made from fonio, and we're gonna be making a pumpkin cobbler. So let's see how it goes. So we have all of our ingredients prepped, and this is going to be a simple wet and a dry combo. We're starting with roasted pumpkin. Now, normally I would roast my own, but to be honest, this is canned. But generally I love roasting my own pumpkin because you have all that natural sweetness that comes in the roasting process, and you also get to keep the fiber. So, note to self in the future, roasted and always better, but I wanted to try the can to see how it would work. Then we're going to add some plant milk. Don't get too picky here, folks. Use whatever you got on hand. Use whatever you like, whether it's cashew, soy, hemp, coconut. And we're going to add some maple syrup because, of course, this is dessert, y'all. We're not using white sugar because we don't want to upset our system too much. We're going to use maple syrup. And then we're going to be adding an oil. I use coconut oil. You can use whatever oil you like, but remember that oil is also a flavor. So remember that when you're choosing your oil, all right? Then you want to mix this. You want to mix this well until it's completely combined and you really don't see any of the pumpkin textures, but instead you have a nice liquid. For our dry bowl, we are going to be adding in the star of the show, which is our fonio flour. Then we're going to add some baking powder because we want it to rise a little bit, a little Himalayan pink salt, and I'm using vanilla bean powder over extract. We're going to add in some pumpkin spice and some cinnamon. Yes, we need all the flavors, all the spices. And then you want to mix this well, literally, so you don't see any of the spices and it just looks like one homogeneous mix. And then you want to dig a well in it because we're going to pour our wet into that center. Now after pouring this, it got a little tricky for me, so I want to give you a warning as you make this at home. Fonio flour is not like the all-purpose wheat flour that you have been used to. It is very absorbent. I want you to think about sand on the beach when the water comes up and it's like it barely hit the shore because it literally just absorbs right there, which is why I went from my whisk to a spoon because I realized this is going to require different tools in order to make sure that this mix was mixed very well. And so what ended up happening is as I mixed, as you see, it became more crumbly. And again, this is a pumpkin crumble, so no surprise there, but I was surprised. So I don't want you to be too shocked when you get home and you're thinking, is this not working? Trust me, trust the process, it is. So we're going to pour those crumbles right into our baking pan. I do not oil nor flour my pan because my pan is pretty well seasoned, but if you feel like you must, feel free. You know your baking tools better than I. So we're going to spread this around. And then we're going to add in some texture. So I'm going to be using pecans. Yes, y'all know I love some good pecans over any nuts. I love pecans. So we're putting pecans on there. And then we want to caramelize the top. So we're going to throw over some coconut sugar. Some people have used brown sugar in place of this, but again, I was trying to keep it white, refined, sugar-free. So I'm using coconut sugar. And then we're going to add more moisture because it was looking kind of dry, right? So we're going to add some very hot water, and it's going to start to look like, you know, there's a bit of a river in your dish, like it's floating a little bit, but it's not. It's perfect. It's fine because it's going to absorb all of that goodness so it can come out the oven and look like this, moist, ready to cut into. And because we do believe in extra goodness, we are going to pour over some yummy coconut caramel sauce. Oh my God, this is so good. But y'all, this was my favorite. And then we're gonna top it with some coconut whipped cream. And you guys, you have a pumpkin crumble. give it a try. Wow. This is pretty good. This is my first time trying this flour. Gotta be honest. If you've ever had gluten-free flours before, you know it can be a little wonky in texture, but this actually hits the spot. So if you're somebody who is struggling with trying to find a replacement for flour, and you know that you have a sweet tooth and you want to enjoy all those wonderful desserts, this is a really great one. You really should try fonio because it works really well in this dish, and this dish doesn't have any white sugar. So if you also struggle with how white sugar makes you feel after you eat it, this is perfect. All right, you all, if you want the measurements and the exact recipe that I use, you already know. Sign up for the newsletter every Tuesday in your inbox. I'll see you then. Enjoy.